Tim, it's Fred Johns calling from something.
Hello?
Tim? Tim,
Yeah.
it's Fred Johns calling.
Yeah, I know.
Tim, I want to put our differences aside here just for a second because I wanted to ask you something that is kind of important. Several times we spoke on the website about various topics, and one of the things you have been saying consistently since the day that I met you is that the world is heading towards a financial crisis, and that especially the U.S. market is in danger. You predicted for at least like the last 5 years that there would be a looming economic crisis, both in North America, essentially. And
yeah, you got it.
Damn it, Tim! I hate to do it, but it seems that you were right. And
well, listen. Okay. I got all sorts of information for you, Fred. I'm not only right, but I'm scared. Let me give you Philippe Castile's number, and you call him. There's one other thing I'm right about, and he's come to Abbotsford to speak, and it's about the amount of traffic in the CIA and stuff. And these guys are all coming to town to speak, and they're going to endorse me because they're getting afraid too.
Before you give me that number, before you give me that number and give me that information, I want to ask you about what you've been saying. I mean, this thing in the U.S., this housing, this sounds really, really bad.
This is a financial nuclear bomb, and the house is on fire. What happened last year in August with the Bin Laden bet?
Yes.
Was they were betting that we were going to go over the edge, and when we went over the edge, the only way to keep the thing afloat was that the foreign banks like Canada and the European Central Bank contribute money, and they were contributing $3 billion a day every day for the last year and whatever days. And that takes us up to, at the end of September, all the businesses have to report their third quarter earnings. So the stock market is going to have the reports, right? And they're all going to be negative. So the stock market's going to fail. People are going to stop lending money to the government. And the government right now, the only way the government can succeed is for them to print money. They've completely lost any touch with gold. And we're at the stage where we're going to enter hyperinflation.
Now, I mean, is this the thing? I mean, you have some sort of, I can't remember if it's a degree or some sort of background in economics, right?
Economics.
Okay. So you got some sort of background.
Okay, go on.
My question is, I mean, so I come to you as someone who's a bit of an expert on this particular idea. Is this going to be strictly an American problem, or is this something that's going to creep into Canada?
This is a global, and like remember we talked about the one world government, the North American Union, and the crash of the currency and the emerald. And this is it's like 9/11. It's a catalyst event. It's like 9/11 was a fascist shift, and this event will be a transformation. And you got to go back to free trade. And 15, 20 years ago, what free trade was we basically if the Chinese, if we didn't impose any environmental standards on them, why are we surprised when we get toys back with lead paint? If we didn't impose any labor standards, why are we surprised that our wages have got to fall? They've got to equal the Chinamen. So we can bring theirs up, but we got to bring ours down. So what we're having is a transformation to a new economy, to a lower standard of living.
Well,
this isn't going to be a recession, and it isn't going to be a depression. It's going to be a transformation to the new world order.
I asked that question because I mean there's an election campaign going on nationally, and Stephen Harper, the Prime Minister, has been coming out saying, "Oh, the economy is strong. The economy is strong. We don't have anything to worry about."
He's a liar.
Well, is he?
I told you he's a liar. A long time ago, I told you he's a liar. And on my website, if you go down to my website, there's a North American map of Canada, United States, and Mexico with the North American highway, and he's clearly demonstrated there is a liar.
Well, remember.
I mean, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get all the information together that everybody needs.
Right.
But you're right, Fred. I'm right. I hate it.
You back in August, you made a prediction about 888 and how there was going to be a financial issue. It seems to me as if maybe you were just off by a month and a half.
What happened? Like it's about the Caspian Sea oil. And what happened on August 8th was, first of all, they had the Beijing Olympics and people were distracted. Second of all, the U.S. Georgia, their military budget went from $4 million to $1 billion in 4 years. And Georgia is a proxy of the U.S. government, and Georgia attacked South Odessa, and that started the war on that end. And then the other part was in Bolivia that the U.S. Is trying to, they did a lot of things down there with Bolivia and then in Pakistan. So, like, they didn't attack Iran on the 8th of August, but they definitely were postured to make a military adventure, and that's what they've done. And after the 1st of August, about the 7th of August, is when Iran might strike Israel, Israel might strike Iran, and they're trying to hold them off because, like, this is going to be a real fucking shooting gallery. I can't believe it, but, that's what it looks like. And everybody I know in the fucking Pentagon, and that's, like, the professors and stuff, they're all starting to say, we're sorry, Tim, and we're going to come and endorse you. And I wouldn't be surprised if Larry Campbell shows up here. This is, you know what? I've been saying all along that people should be concerned about the way we treat the homeless, because those are the rights we're going to, give ourselves.
Right. I was talking to someone else earlier about this, and they said, well, it's not hard to predict that the good times in the United States are going to come to an end. Anyone can predict that. It's just like the law of averages. But you've been saying it pretty consistently for a long time. How did you know that this was going to unfold the way it is?
Well, economic cycles don't take, a couple months and a couple years. They take years. And in 1964, they assassinated Kennedy. And Johnson started with the Vietnam War. And they financed the Vietnam War by selling the gold. And in 1969, the U.S. became a net exporter of gold under Richard Nixon, and the war was continuing, and all the protests, people were still protesting, and the more they protested, the more the war expanded, and it just didn't make any sense. And then in 1969, Richard Nixon took us off the, or 1971, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, but he also opened up trade with China. It was a counter deal. And in the trade with China, we got free trade, and that was like December 31st, 2009 is going to be the harmonizing date when all the things have to harmonize. So what you got to figure is that somehow or another, no matter how much we raise the Chinaman standard of living between now and next year, we can lower our standard of living to make it equal. It's harmonizing day.
All right. So there's a history there. You said that you are scared about the certain situation, and I guess my final question to you, Tim, would be, why are you scared? Is this not just going to blow over?
Pardon?
Is it just not just going to blow over?
No, this is permanent. This is going to be something that's this thing, people don't want to talk about the whole thing, but the whole thing includes the aliens and stuff like that. And it doesn't make any difference whether aliens exist, but the point is, one of the things about the alien conversation is they won't let us into the Galactic Federation until we have a one world government. Okay? So, whether that's true or not, I don't know. It doesn't make any difference. The point is we're going to have a one world government. And it's not going to end until that happens. And in 1973, Henry Kissinger wrote a paper, and basically it was calling for the reduction of the population by 80%. These are also the same things that were predicted in the Bible, with like the rift shift and the mark of the beast, and the 4 out of 5 men will die in Armageddon war, and so on and so forth. Listen, I'm not making all this up. I just read it, and the way I read it, the facts indicate that we're in trouble. That's what it is. I don't know how deep it goes, but I can tell you this, Fred, that it scares the hell out of me.